Hey everyone, welcome to Scott's RPG Reviews. I'm Scott. It's been a while since I've done an RPG review. I've got a couple of other projects I've been working on, but I'm getting back to reviewing stuff. So, the review I'm going to do today is for the Numenera 2 Player's Guide. Now, the title is Numenera Player's Guide, but there's a first edition one and a second edition one, and they're both good, but if you're running the Numenera with Discovery and Destiny, the 800 massive pages, you definitely want the new Player's Guide, and you can tell which one you're running by the picture, and I put up a picture of the guide up here in this window. So, let's talk about Player's Guides, and let's talk about this Player's Guide in specific, and let's talk about what I'm looking for in a Player's Guide. When I think about a Player's Guide, I want a weird balance between like almost nothing a summary, which I don't want, and I don't want a complete summary of the rules either and everything, because that's what the Numenera 2 volume set is for. But most players are never going to read the 800 massive pages, 800 or 900 pages of Discovery and Destiny. What I want out of a player's guide is I want enough information there where a player can pick it up, read it, build their character, know what the genre is like and the universe is like, and actually have enough rules to play the game. You don't have to have all the rules, but you have to have enough rules in there so that the player can walk into a session and play. The first Monte Cook Games Player's Guide that I actually encountered was the one for Old Gods of Appalachia, and I will tell you honestly, I was incredibly disappointed by it. First of all, for the size and print quality, $20 I thought was an awful lot. And I ended up telling players, look, just go out and buy the PDF or buy the printed version of the whole thing and just don't read the stuff that's GM related. Because I thought the player's guide was pointless. This Numenera's Player's Guide, the Numenera 2, and even the Numenera 1 Player's Guide, is exactly what I want out of a Player's Guide. It's not too long. I think this one is 96, less than 100 pages. And when you look at it, it gives you everything you need to play. So let's talk about its structure and why I like it so much. So you open it up. It's paperback, by the way. This is it, by the way. It's paperback. Hardbound would be nice, but not critical. It starts with about 3 pages, which explains the Ninth World, which is the setting, the genre that it's in. It's sci-fantasy in Earth 9 billion years in the future, I think what it is. 3 pages is enough background material where the player can really get a feeling for what it's like. There are over a dozen books, maybe over 24 books at this point, on Numenera and its universe and background material. Player doesn't need that much. Player needs just enough information so they understand what the universe is about. And I think those 3 pages at the beginning do a really good. It says, welcome to the Ninth World, and then it talks about the universe. It's got some pretty pictures and a pretty good artwork, so I pretty much like it. And then it says how to play. It goes through a quick summary of the Numenera, aka Cypher System rules. And that lasts for about, let's see how many pages is that. I should have looked that up before I actually started doing the review. So let's look it up. It says, playing Numenera, 5 pages. So in 5 pages, it summarizes all the rules for the system. Now, those familiar with Cypher System and Numenera and The Strange and all their other stuff know that their rule sets tend to be very light anyway in the scheme of things. But it's 5 pages. The player can read those 5 pages and have everything they need to know about how the checks work and all that kind of stuff. So, good. And then it gets into character creation. And it has pages 11 through 91 are the character creation steps. And it literally takes you through and said, okay, here's what a character is, here's here's how you build it, and everything. It had everything that I wanted. It had all the types, all the descriptors, and all the foci. The only type it didn't have was there was a reference to one type that came out in one character options book. I can't remember what the type was. But all the ones that are in Discovery and Destiny are in here. It has all the descriptors, everything that's there. I think the only thing, let me make sure that I've got this right, is in Discovery and Destiny, the copies that I have, there was a 1-page steps to creating a character. I kind of wished, and I don't think it's in here. It isn't. that they had put that in there. That at the very first couple of pages is saying, here's the steps on how to create a character, and in one page. That's okay. Still, those 81 pages or whatever it is gives you everything that you need. It's well laid out. It's good language, so on and so forth. And in the last 10 or so pages is equipment. So that was good as well. So this literally gives you, with the exception of one thing, everything you need to learn how to play, know about the universe, and build a character. That's exactly what a player needs. The only thing that this did not include, which I can understand, but I still kind of wish it had been there, had been ciphers and artifacts. There's references to them, it talks about them, but it doesn't actually have the cipher list that you see in Discovery and Destiny. Now, it would have made the book a lot longer. And when you read the Discovery and Destiny rules, it says the GM should give the ciphers that they want to the players. Or there are a set of defaults based upon type and focus and descriptor, but the rules pretty much say GM should really decide. And I'll tell you that that's what when I run Cypher System games, I always pick which ones the players should start with to make sure that they've got a set that are going to be useful. If you give them random ones or default ones, they might have ciphers that they never use, and you want them to use the ciphers. So this is a really, really good player's guide. Normally, I tend to shy away of player's guides because they're either too short or they're too long. I mean, look at a very popular fantasy RPG, and you'll see, it's a 300 or 400 page player's guide. That's too long. A player's not going to read any more. 100 pages is about a 2-hour read for most people, particularly at this size type. So in 2 hours, I can know everything I need to know about how to play the game, and I can skim through it and go to the sections that I need as well. So if you have, if you're running a Numenera campaign, Numenera 2, and you need something for the players to have a rule set, and they look at, oh my goodness, it's $120, the cheapest you can get. Numenera and Discovering Destiny 4 is $120, printed, and I think it's $40 on their website. I thought $40 for the PDFs was a little pricey, but that's okay. $40 for the PDFs. If they don't want to spend that kind of money, say, look, buy the player's guide. You can typically pick it up for about $20 to $30, I think is the going rate. I think I saw it for $17 in one location on one site, so a pretty good price. Gives you everything the player needs, and get your people up and running. I'm actually doing a character creation session this Sunday at my local game store, and I wish I had bought a bunch of these. But that's okay, I've got 2 of them, and I've got 3 sets of the Discovery and Destiny books, so that'll work. So, player handbook for player's guide for Numenera 2, really good. Now, by the way, if you're running Numenera 1, which is a single book, there is a single book version of this. It's got a white cover instead of the blue cover and a different picture. It's just as good. It does exactly the same thing. It has the Numenera 1 classes, which there are 3 of, instead of the 6 or 7 that there are in the Discovering Destiny. So definitely get it, and have a good day. We'll see you in our next session.